Have you ever heard a song and wondered who created it? For centuries, the answer was simple: a human being, a songwriter with a guitar, a composer at a piano, a producer in a studio. But today, that answer is becoming much more complicated. We are standing on the edge of a new frontier in music. Technology is not just a tool for recording or mixing, it's a creative partner. This new partner is artificial intelligence, or AI. It can compose melodies, it can write lyrics, it can even sing in the voice of any artist, living or dead. This technology is evolving at a breathtaking pace, changing the very definition of what it means to create music. The rise of AI music is not a distant, futuristic concept. It is happening right now, today. You may have already heard it without even realizing it. Maybe it was the background track in a YouTube video, a jingle in a podcast advertisement, or a viral song on TikTok that sounded familiar yet was new. This technology is accessible, powerful, and spreading quickly through the creative industries. As AI becomes more sophisticated, its ability to generate high-quality, complex, emotionally resonant music grows every single day. The implications are massive: law, business, and the very soul of what we consider art. This rapid advancement forces us to confront difficult questions. It challenges long-held beliefs about creativity, originality, and ownership. When a machine can create a hit song, who gets the credit? Who gets the money? These aren't abstract legal puzzles locked in courtrooms. They are urgent, practical problems affecting artists, record labels, tech companies, and every listener. The ground is shifting beneath our feet. Old maps of the creative world no longer apply. Understanding this new landscape is essential. Decisions made today about AI and music will shape the future for generations. This isn't just a cool new piece of software. It's about protecting artists' rights, defining the value of human creativity, and navigating the legal and ethical maze AI has created. The conversation is happening now, in real time, filled with excitement for new possibilities and deep concern about potential consequences. That's why it's so important to understand what's happening and what's at stake for the future of music. To make sense of this complex and fast-moving topic, we can break it down into three central questions. These are the core issues at the heart of nearly every debate about AI and music right now. They are the questions that lawyers are arguing over, that artists are worried about, and that tech companies are trying to answer with their terms of service. The first, and perhaps most fundamental question, is about ownership. Simply put, when an AI generates a piece of music, who owns the copyright? Is it the person who typed the prompt, the company that built the AI, or does the music belong to no one at all, falling into the public domain? The second major question deals with the issue of copying and consent. AI models learn their craft by analyzing enormous amounts of existing data. In the case of music, this data is often the life's work of human artists. Are artists having their work and their voices copied without their permission? We have already seen AI create songs that perfectly mimic famous singers, leading to legal battles and public outcry. What does it mean to protect an artist's identity, their unique sound, and their vocal signature? Finally, the third question looks toward the future and has a profound impact on the livelihoods of countless musicians. Will AI replace human musicians? Technology has always changed the way music is made, but AI has the potential to automate creative roles in a way we've never seen before. Certain jobs, like creating simple background music for commercials or producing stock audio libraries, may be at risk. We need to explore which roles are most likely to be affected and which human skills will remain irreplaceable in the world of music. These three questions, ownership, copying, replacement, are not separate issues. They are deeply interconnected, and the answer to one often influences the others. The legal frameworks that determine ownership will affect how artists are compensated when their work is used for training. The debate over job replacement will be shaped by how we value human emotion and storytelling over machine-generated efficiency. Over the course of this discussion, we will explore each question in detail. We will look at real-world examples, emerging legal cases, and what it all means for you, creators, industry professionals, and people who simply love music. Let's begin with the most common scenario today, a human artist working together with an AI. In this creative partnership, the AI acts as a sophisticated tool, much like a synthesizer, a digital audio workstation, but with far greater capabilities. A musician might use an AI to generate a chord progression, to suggest a bass line, to create a few lyrical ideas to overcome writer's block. The key point here is that a human is guiding the process. They are making the important creative decisions, selecting the best elements, arranging them into a finished song. This isn't just pushing a button and getting a complete track. It's a collaboration where human judgment stays in control of the final artistic output. The legal answer to ownership is becoming clearer and generally favors the human creator. Most copyright laws around the world, including in the United States, are built on the principle that protection is for original works created by a human. When AI is used as an instrument to realize a human's creative vision, the resulting work is typically seen as that person's intellectual labor. The human is the author. The AI is the tool. Therefore, the person who directed the AI and made significant creative contributions usually owns the copyright. Consider a practical example. A producer is working on a new electronic track and feels stuck on the melody. She types a prompt into an AI music generator. Create a dreamy synth-pop melody in the key of C minor at 120 beats per minute. The AI generates 5 different options. The producer listens, dislikes 4, and finds a small 4-bar phrase in the 5th that she likes. She takes that short phrase, transposes it, changes the rhythm, adds her own chords, writes a counter melody, and builds an entire song around it. Her creative input is substantial and transformative, making her the author and copyright holder. This ensures artists can explore AI without fear of losing rights, affirming the value of human direction in the artistic process. Now let's explore a more complex and legally ambiguous scenario. What happens when the human element is removed almost entirely? Imagine someone typing a very basic prompt. Write a sad song. The machine then generates a complete, fully orchestrated piece. Lyrics, melody, harmony. The creative heavy lifting is done exclusively by the algorithm. The human's contribution is minimal, more like commissioning than authoring. Fully AI-generated music pushes copyright law into very gray territory. Many key jurisdictions, including the US, say, copyright cannot protect works created by non-human authors. The US Copyright Office insists a work must be the product of human creativity to register. This was tested in the famous monkey selfie case. Courts ruled animals can't hold copyrights. That same logic is now applied to AI. No significant human authorship, no eligibility for human copyright. The outcome is problematic. If the prompt giver's input is too trivial, they don't own it. The AI can't own it because it's not a person. Then who does? Often, no one. The music may have no legal owner. It sits in a legal vacuum, a digital no man's land. This isn't theoretical. It's happening now. As AI grows more autonomous, more works may lack a clear copyright holder at creation. That lack of ownership has profound implications for the music industry. Copyright lets creators control, license, and earn from their work. Without an owner, a piece can't be exclusively licensed for a film. A record label can't sign it. An artist can't sue if someone copies it. The work becomes unprotected, and in some readings, free for anyone to use, modify, distribute. This challenges the economic structure behind professional music and raises urgent questions about art made without a human hand. When a creative work has no copyright owner, it often defaults into what is known as the public domain. Traditionally, works enter the public domain after their copyright term expires, which can be many decades after the author's death. However, with fully AI-generated content, we are facing a situation where works might be born directly into the public domain. On the surface, having a constantly growing library of free, high-quality music might sound like a wonderful thing. It could provide an incredible resource for independent filmmakers, student projects, small businesses, and anyone needing music without a budget. However, this public domain by default model carries significant risks, especially for professional musicians and composers. If a flood of high-quality, free music becomes available, it could drastically devalue the market for human-created music, particularly in functional areas like background scores, advertising jingles, and library music. Why would a company pay a composer for a custom track when it can generate a similar one for free in seconds? This could create a race to the bottom, where the economic incentive for creating certain types of music is severely diminished, potentially putting many working musicians out of a job and making it harder for new artists to build sustainable careers. Section 4. The platform rules. Reading the fine print, companies like Suno, Udio, dozens of other AI music services have their own terms of service agreements. These are the lengthy legal documents users must agree to. Buried in the fine print are the rules that govern who owns the music. These terms can vary dramatically from one service to another. For example, Suno say paid subscribers own the music. Udio say paid subscribers own the music. This is a powerful incentive. It means you can create a song, upload it to Spotify, use it in a monetized YouTube video, sell it to an advertising agency. However, the transfer of rights is rarely absolute and comes with caveats. Platforms might grant the company a broad, royalty-free license to use, reproduce, even create derivative works. The company could use your music for marketing, to train future models, or other purposes outlined in their agreement. Free-tier ownership is typically much more restrictive, often prohibiting any commercial use whatsoever. Platform terms can override default copyright positions. Even if a court might rule that a piece of music is in the public domain, your contract might still prevent commercial use if you're on a free plan. For creators, the most important legal document is the terms of service, not a law book. Read and understand the fine print before building a business or creative project around AI music. To understand how an AI can copy an artist, we first need to look at how it learns. An AI music model isn't born with music knowledge. It's trained on massive datasets. Those datasets contain astronomical numbers of songs, spanning every genre, across different eras, from countless artists. The AI analyzes and breaks songs into parts, melodies, harmonies, rhythms, lyrical structures, instrumental textures. It learns statistical relationships between these elements, which notes tend to follow others, what chord progressions feel happy or sad, how a bass line interacts with a drum pattern. Herein lies the controversy. Much of the training music is copyrighted. Often the music was scraped from the internet, pulled from large digital libraries without explicit permission. Tech companies argue this falls under fair use, for research, for technological development. They say they're not distributing songs, just learning patterns, like a student. Artists and labels strongly disagree. They say it's not human learning, it's a commercial use of their intellectual property to build competing products without permission or compensation. For artists, each song is a building block for a system that could devalue or replace them. That disagreement over legality and ethics fuels major legal and cultural clashes. The consequences of training AI on copyrighted music are not just theoretical, they have become audibly clear. Once an AI model has analyzed enough songs by one artist, it can replicate that artist's unique style with startling accuracy. The AI learns specific stylistic fingerprints that define an artist's identity. The issue gets worse with an artist's voice. Voice cloning models are trained on audio recordings. They analyze pitch, timbre, cadence, subtle inflections to recreate new vocal performances. Anyone with the right software can create a new song by a famous artist, living or dead. To some it's novelty, but for artists it's a profound violation. In the spring of 2023, this abstract threat became a global headline. A song titled "Heart on My Sleeve" appeared on platforms like TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, and it spread like wildfire. The track sounded like it was performed by two of the world's biggest music superstars, Drake, The Weeknd. It sounded convincingly real, but neither Drake nor The Weeknd had anything to do with it. An anonymous creator known as Ghostwriter made the song using AI voice cloning technology, and it sent shockwaves through the music industry. The industry's reaction was swift and decisive. Universal Music Group, representing Drake and The Weeknd, issued takedown notices to major streaming platforms. They argued the voices were used without permission and copyrights were infringed. Platforms complied. "Heart on My Sleeve" was scrubbed from official services. The event crystallized the debate. For tech enthusiasts, it was a stunning display of AI's creative potential. For artists and labels, it was a declaration of war. It demonstrated a clear and present danger to an artist's control over their own voice and image. The takedown of "Heart on My Sleeve" was the first major shot fired in an escalating conflict over AI and artistic identity. In the wake of incidents like the AI Drake song, artists and their advocates have pushed legal and moral arguments against unauthorized use. The legal case centers on an artist's right of publicity. Artists say the voice is a critical part of likeness. It is as unique and identifiable as a face. So many musicians are calling for new laws to address voice cloning. They say old copyright and publicity laws are insufficient for AI. They want laws that explicitly recognize voice as a protected attribute, with clear consent and fair compensation for training AI. Not necessarily a ban, but a framework that treats artists as partners, not raw material. The disagreement has officially moved from public debate to the courtroom. A growing number of high-stakes lawsuits have been filed. Major music publishers, representing the rights of thousands of songwriters, have sued AI companies for allegedly training on copyrighted musical compositions, lyrics, without obtaining licenses. They are seeking billions in damages and demanding these companies stop using protected works. These lawsuits are in early stages. Definitive rulings may take years. Possible outcome: courts rule for the artists. That could force AI companies to license all their training data, or delete models trained on unlicensed material. Alternatively, courts could side with tech companies on fair use grounds, which would affirm current practices and accelerate AI development. More likely, a middle ground. Courts could establish new rules and tests for fair use in AI, leading to new licensing models and a more regulated industry. The advancement of AI in music creation raises hard questions about the future of work for musicians. Certain roles are far more vulnerable to automation than others. Jobs most at risk are those that create functional music. Stock background music for online content, simple jingles for advertisements, generic instrumental tracks for royalty-free libraries. These jobs prioritize utility over unique artistry. AI models are exceptionally good at these tasks. A user can type a prompt like, "Create a 30-second royalty-free lo-fi hip-hop track for a coffee shop commercial." The AI produces a usable piece in moments. It doesn't get creative block. It doesn't need royalties for every use. It can run 24 hours a day. That efficiency disrupts the market for functional and stock music. The core driver is a simple economic calculation. AI can produce certain types of music faster and cheaper than a human can. This economic reality forces composers to lower their prices drastically, work much faster, or abandon that segment of the market altogether, all of which threaten their ability to earn a sustainable living from their craft. While AI is poised to take over the more generic and functional aspects of music creation, there remains a vast and vital territory where humans are, and will likely remain, irreplaceable. This is the domain of deep emotional expression, nuanced storytelling, and the creation of a unique artistic identity. It is the raw pain in a blues guitarist's solo, the defiant joy in a protest anthem, or the tender vulnerability in a singer-songwriter's voice. These are qualities that arise from lived experience. AI, for all its technical prowess, does not have lived experiences. It does not know love, heartbreak, struggle, or triumph. This authenticity is the magic ingredient that makes music resonate deeply with us. Beyond the creation of recorded music, there are two critical areas where human musicians have an advantage that AI cannot touch. The live performance, the direct relationship with fans, the energy of a live concert, the shared excitement of a crowd singing along to their favorite song, the spontaneous interaction between an artist and their audience create a powerful, visceral connection. People are not just fans of the music. They are fans of the artist as a person. They are invested in their story, their values, their journey. This fan-artist connection is something an AI cannot genuinely form. Instead of a future where AI simply replaces human jobs, a more likely and more interesting outcome is a future of collaboration. Many experts and forward-thinking artists see AI not as a competitor, but as a powerful new tool that can augment human creativity. For example, an artist could use AI to break through a creative block. A producer could use AI to instantly create a new drum pattern. An artist could clone their own voice to create complex vocal harmonies. In all these scenarios, the AI is serving the artist's vision, not dictating it. The musicians who thrive will be those who embrace new technologies as tools to enhance their uniquely human skills. They will lean into emotional authenticity, build strong fan communities, and master the art of live performance. Technology will change, but the world will always need artists who can tell compelling stories and make us feel something real. We began by posing three central questions that define the current revolution in music. Now, as we close this discussion, the answers aren't simple. A complex, evolving picture has emerged. First question: ownership. When a human creator uses AI as a sophisticated tool and adds significant creative input, they are generally the author and copyright holder. But when music is generated entirely by AI with minimal human direction, it may fall into a legal void, potentially public domain from creation. Superimposed on this is platform terms of service. They can grant or restrict rights regardless of copyright law. Read the fine print. Second question: copying and consent. AI models learn by analyzing vast datasets. Those datasets often include copyrighted works and the unique voices of human artists, frequently without permission or compensation. High-profile incidents, like the viral AI Drake deepfake, showed how convincingly technology can mimic artists. Artists are fighting back, asserting right of publicity and demanding consent and control over their identity. Ongoing lawsuits and legislative pushes highlight a conflict. Tech industry's fair use claims versus creatives protecting IP and personal brand. Finally, job replacement, anxiety, and opportunity. Jobs focused on functional, generic, or stock music are at high risk of automation. AI can produce good enough content faster and cheaper. Economic pressure will reshape that market. But certain roles remain secure. Deep emotional storytelling, live performance charisma, the creation of a distinct artistic identity, and the cultivation of a loyal fan community. In summary, the new reality of music is one of dualities. Human creativity is both amplified and challenged. Ownership is both clearer and more confusing than ever. New opportunities arise alongside significant economic threats. Navigating this terrain requires understanding the technology, a renewed focus on the value of human expression, and a careful reading of the rules being written in real time by courts, legislatures, and AI platforms. The simple answers of the past no longer apply. Awareness is the most critical tool for anyone in music today. Looking ahead, replacement is unlikely. Collaboration is the path forward. The future of music will be defined by the synergy of human creativity and AI tools. Artists won't be obsolete, they'll be empowered. To navigate this future, creators must be strategic. Diligently document your human input and authorship. Carefully vet AI platforms and their terms of service. Consider voice licensing as a new revenue stream. Lean into your human identity. Stories, live shows, fan relationships. The industry must act too. Push for clearer, updated laws. Protect artists' voices and identities. Establish fair, efficient licensing for AI training. Foster an ecosystem where technology serves art and artists are paid fairly. Ultimately, this is a story of adaptation. Technology evolves, but our need for moving music remains. Those who thrive will embrace change, master new tools, and double down on human emotion, creativity, and connection. The future is artists amplified by technology, opening a universe of possibilities.